2024年才刚开始，打着减碳口号，被视为是抢救地球很重要的电动车市场，已经有人要举白旗退出。这家公司就是苹果。彭博社最近以 Apple to win down electric car after decade-long odyssey 为标题，发表了这样惊人的新闻：为何当初全球引颈期待的 Apple Car 要喊停呢？
Apple winding down its electric car effort. And CNBC's Steve Kovach joins us now at the table with more on all of it. What happened?
Yes, scrapping plans, hitting the brakes, whatever metaphor you want to use. But look, this is all coming, Andrew, after about a decade and billions of dollars in spending. Bloomberg, of course, first broke that news last night. It's been since confirmed all over the place. Look, this decision comes after years of leadership changes and deviations from the original dream Apple had of a self-driving electric car. They were calling it Project Titan internally, with no steering wheel or gas pedals. At one point, Apple even thought it could start selling its car by 2020. Projects created a revolving door, though, because between talent from Tesla and Apple attracted executives from traditional car companies as well, GM, BMW, and the like. But look, nothing has ever shipped in the last decade from this group, and many top execs bolted after just a few years. The last project leader, that was Doug Field. He's famous for making the Tesla Model 3. He left Apple for Ford in 2021, and most recently, the group was run by Kevin Lynch. He was originally hired by Apple to make the Apple Watch. His job is changing now, by the way. He's going to start reporting to Apple's AI boss, John Giannandrea, also known as JG internally. But look, now this is over.
然而，苹果的退出并不意味电动车市场的衰微。即使有台湾的财经专家认为，电动车的前景并不美好，就连特斯拉在2024年的1月都提出警告，表示2024年的销售成长将弱于2023年。但是这个讯息投资人该如何解读？电动车真的只是骗人的幌子吗？来看看这款以色列新创公司 City Transformer 推出，已经准备在今年7月正式销售的商品。电动车的市场百家争鸣，车款因应不同需求推出的速度正在以高速进行翻新，所有技术皆目不暇给地呈现在世人面前。但是质疑的声浪从来不曾少过。可是差距的鸿沟到底是区域发展的问题，还是市场不够开放的问题，或是观念的问题？欧洲汽车制造商协会最近发表了一篇 The Global Electric Car Race Europe Needs to Wake Up 的文章，提到法国国家科学研究中心的 Tommaso Pardi 解释为何欧洲以外的电动车制造商在这场竞争中处于领先地位。而 Transaction Info 更在一篇专访提到一些关键的问题。电动车的市场真的是不可期待的吗？如果从全球角度来看，电动车其实正以各种不同角度在快速成长。即使美国现在的电动车市场看起来不乐观，他们自己制造商的看法却不是如此。
Shares of global automaker Stellantis are at an all-time high as the company's North America brand jumping into the EV game this year. Ram, Jeep, and Dodge are set to roll out pure electric vehicles. Stellantis' CEO Carlos Tavares is here joining us on set with our own Phil LeBeau. Phil, take it away, my friend.
Well, I know you guys have a lot of questions as well, especially when it comes to EVs, Chinese automakers, their expansion around the world. Let's start with the most obvious one, which is when you look at the market right now, not just the auto market, but the economy and the market here in the U.S., how comfortable are you?
I'm quite comfortable on the fact that people want to protect their freedom of mobility. They want safe, clean, and affordable mobility, and we are here to offer that and to serve. So I'm quite positive about the market. I think people will continue to protect their freedom of mobility, and for that, there is no other better device than an automobile.
Well, that's true, but is it going to be internal combustion engine? Is it going to be a hybrid? Is it going to be an EV? You know about the debate that's going on right now. EV market is slowing down in terms of the adoption rate here in the United States. Does that continue at least through the rest of this year and several years? What do you see?
What I see is that to make the EV spark, you need to align a certain number of stars. You need, of course, clean energy. You need a very dense charging network that people can see so that they remove range anxiety. They need a great product with a very high range, right? Like the products we are bringing to the market, 500 miles of range. That should be enough. And you need affordability. And what is at stake right now is affordability. That's the major star that is right now not totally aligned with the three other ones, assuming that they would be, which is not
that the supply chain? Is that the main issue?
It's
raw materials?
It's design to cost, is the fact that we need to be using raw materials for the battery cells which are not scarce, because as long as they are scarce, there is a lot of potential inflation and volatility. Design to cost, raw materials which are not scarce, and we have to double the power density of the battery cells so that you can have a smaller battery with less weight and therefore less cost.
He's shaking his head over there.
No, it's a lot. You got a lot to do. You got a lot to do. You got to make it much more. You know, I don't need any more anxiety. You mentioned a couple of kinds of anxiety there. I don't need that layered onto my existing anxiety. You got to understand why consumers feel this way.
Sure.
You have to.
Sure.
So you're going to get to 500 miles. When is that going to happen?
It's going to happen this year.
Okay, and then the density of not having to worry about being able to find a charge. When is it? At this point, I'd still have anxiety. I'm getting anxious talking to you.
Don't do that. That's not good for you, and
It's not good for anybody.
No, it doesn't help. I think that the car makers are now bringing a range that should remove that anxiety, in addition to the fact that you need, with your eyes, to see where the charging units are. The charging units need to come to your customer journey, to your daily journey, without you having to look for them. So when you go to gym, when you go to the supermarket, when you go to the mall, when you go to the restaurant,
we're a long ways from that happening.
You need to
here in the
see
United States.
So that's an infrastructure that needs to be set up.
And we really still are. I'm either going to buy an ICE car or a Tesla. That's still where we are right now. I don't want to buy an electric Jeep.
Yeah, I know this year, Stellantis is going to bring to the U.S. market only 8 new pure BEVs this year. And Stellantis in the world will have, by the end of this year, 48 BEV models, which is half of the total model portfolio of the company.
Let me ask you something, and I know Andrew's going to have an interest in this. Consolidation within the industry. You told me out there, it's coming at some point. When you look into the future, where is that? When does that happen?
It is going to be triggered by a very simple statement that everybody will understand. We have to find a way to sell BEVs at the price of ICEs. That's quite simple. To fix the affordability problem, we need to be finding a way to design to cost our products so that you sell BEVs at the price of ICEs. That is going to put extreme pressure on our companies, not only on the supply chain.
In other words, if you can't do it, you're not going to survive.
Somebody will. And the guys who are now ready to offer that in the world, not in the US, but in the world, are the Chinese. The Chinese are able.
So you think there's a merger to be done with the Chinese? Do you think that the U.S. government would ever allow that? The Europeans would ever allow?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the guys now, the Chinese, have a 30% competitive edge on X-Works on their BEVs. So they are able to sell their products with one segment gap, which means you sell a C-segment car at the price of a B-segment, which solves the problem of affordability. Now, what is going to be their stance?
And all these governments are putting tariffs on everything to prevent that.
Exactly, but that will generate inflation inside of the bubble.
Right.
If you do that, inflation inside of the bubble will make things worse rather than better. This country has seen the Japanese invasion in the 70s, then the Koreans. Are you going to see a third wave of Asians, which would be the Chinese? I don't know. I'm opening the question. But what I can tell you is that they are able to sell their BEVs at the price of ICEs. So we need to hurry up. We need to do our job, our homeworks, to make sure that we do the same thing. Of course, the governments can protect their companies with a golden share. That's absolutely obvious and absolutely fair. This being said, if we don't fix this for the consumer, recognizing that our mission is to deliver clean, safe, and affordable mobility, then we are vulnerable, and the Stellantis will not fall in that trap, I can tell you.